I'd get out of bed and my knees would be sore, my body was aching, things were starting to ache, and that to me was concerning. I was like, you know what, if I keep going the way I'm going, there's just going to be no fixing it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another session of an interview series where we interview amazing past patients of mine who have created stunning success using this tool of weight loss surgery. I call this a tool because it is indeed a tool. It's your mindset that allows you to use this tool in the most constructive way. Today, I have with me the beautiful Serena. Now, Serena, I told you this when I first met you on this interview that I couldn't even recognize you because there's such a transformation that you've gone through. And I'm really grateful that you've taken out time from your busy schedule to just share a few insights that you have learned on this journey because it is really a journey. And when we share that journey, when we share the joys, as they say, the joys get doubled. When we share the sorrows get halved. So
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for you to share this with me and your time and your insight. So thank you once again. And if it's okay by you, I want to begin by asking you to share with us who was that person who was experiencing those issues with excess weight and emotional eating. Can you just share the pain points that you were experiencing prior to, considering even weight loss surgery?
Yep. So, firstly, thank you, and thank you for the beautiful comments. So, definitely one of the best things I've ever done. Previous to my surgery, I definitely had demons. I had, like I said to you, I literally was the person who ate my feelings. I had a bad day, I went straight home to the cupboard, anything I could find. It just really, I relied on it to make me feel better. Food was my best friend. Like, I could talk out my problem. I could speak to my mum on the phone for 2 hours complaining about my day or my problems or how I'm feeling. And the only thing, the old faithful, that made me feel better was my best friend, food. So I had a real issue with, that's what I was used to reaching out to. That was my comfort.
And Serena, was it like the sweets, the chocolates, the ice creams, or did you go for anything?
Oh,
I
yeah.
only ask that because I see in my own practice, I see such a variety. Some people go for
Yep.
savory things and they make it
Yes.
comfortable. So what was it for you?
Yeah, mine, I'm definitely a sweet tooth. I've got a very big soft spot. I love my chocolate and I love anything. So ice cream, oh, that's another one too. So definitely for me, it was all the sweet sort of stuff, the ones
Yeah.
that give you that sort of high instantly, and then later on you get that little, that crash and you're like, why did I eat that?
Yeah, I was coming to that actually. It's the guilt that follows it, that, oh my God, how would sort of, so what was the point in time of realization that you said, you know what, this is enough, I'm tired of it?
Yeah, I think for me it was just, when you go to family things and you're sort of in a crowd of people and you look back, if someone takes a photo and you really sit back and you think, oh my God, is that how people see me? Is that actually what I've become? And I
Mm.
think for me, the realization was just seeing photos of myself like that. And I thought, no, that's not me. No, I need to change it. Don't get me, I was scared, I was nervous, I don't know what I was feeling, a bit of everything. And the other thing that pushed me to really just give this a go was I'd get out of bed and my knees would be sore, my body was aching, things were starting to ache, and that to me was concerning. I was like, you know what, if I keep going the way I'm going, there's just going to be no fixing it. So I was in a bit of a rut, but yeah, definitely. That was my realization.
And
Just,
I think just coming back to the topic of emotional eating and using food to feed your hunger, what I also hear from people, and it's not really something that they say, but it's actually implied, food is so readily available, right? It's
yep,
available in different colors, different flavors, different styles, different
yep,
packaging.
that's
It
it.
makes it more attractive.
It
So,
does.
I mean, that's the funny part, that that's how it is marketed to us. As a
Exactly.
society, we've become so obsessed with all those colors that come with the food. Colors are good, don't get me wrong, but not artificial colors.
That's right. And you know what used to get me? The word new. If it was new flavor, I was like, oh, I have to try that because it's new.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, it was just because. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So, talking about how you progressed further, so surgery must have been like it's the last thing on the cards that anybody considers, plus the risks and all the fear of, what could go wrong and all of that.
Yep.
So, what was going on in your head before you said, I need to consider surgery now?
I tried to do things on my own. I engaged a personal trainer. I spoke about my nutrition. I changed my eating. Um, I really did try everything before considering the surgery. And then it was one day I spoke to somebody who had had the surgery for a different reason,
Right.
for medical. They obviously had some underlying medical issues. And I thought, is this a solution for me? So I decided one day I'm going to the doctor, I'm going to get a blood test, and let's see what's going on.
Mm,
And I did, and the result, I'm not going to lie to you, the result devastated me because everything was
right.
fine. But then I got told that my thyroid was starting to play up, and that scared the living daylights out of me because I hate taking tablets. So if someone says to me, swallow this, I can't do it. I hate swallowing tablets.
Right.
So to be told that it could get worse, it could get better, it
Hmm.
just wasn't a solution for me. It was, no, I
You were
need to
not
fix
happy
this
with the
now.
answer. You were
Yeah.
not satisfied that, of that uncertainty.
Correct.
Hmm.
It was something that I was like, no, this can't happen. I wasn't even 30 years old and I don't want to live like that. I want to have a
Yes.
family. I want to be running after my children, not going, oh, I can't get up out of my chair.
Hmm.
So that was what made me start to research, and I researched a little bit more, and then I'm not going to lie, I felt very anxious, very, very anxious, very cautious. Is this going to be one of those, you try something and it doesn't work, and then you're back to where you were plus 20 kilos, or,
Correct.
like the
You
Duramines and
don't
all
want
this
this
and the
to be another
tablets.
diet plan, right?
And a diet, that's correct. I just wanted it to be a lifestyle change.
Hmm. So the fear of failure after surgery is the other big thing. One is the fear of complications, and the
Yep,
second and the most important fear actually is the fear of failing surgery as well. There is so
correct.
much at stake. So, and we will talk about this because now you're on the other end. So I will touch upon that as to how, looking back, how did you overcome that fear of failure? But what I want to ask you is that I hear from a lot of younger women, especially Serena, they spend a lot of time in researching to a point where they get sucked in. They get
Yep.
so sucked in, and this I see more with younger women. So please correct me if I'm wrong. That whether you went through this, we call it the paralysis of analysis. You're just
Yep.
analyzing everything, and you don't do anything, and you are still there 1 year later, 2 year later. So do you have any comments about that?
Yeah, look, I mean, at the start, I'll tell you, I over researched it. You're 100% right. I don't know what it is. We just have this thing that we need to research and research and research. And it gets to the point where you almost talk yourself out of it.
Hmm.
And it's like, no, 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 I'm going ahead with this. Because I remember at one point, I had made an appointment to see you, and almost that same day, I was like, I can't do this. No, no, no. This says here that I can gain my weight back. No, 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 no. And I was, it really plays with your mind. You really
Yeah.
go, wow, is it right? Is it wrong? And then you know what? For me, honestly, after I saw you, I knew that I made the right decision. I just felt really at ease. You literally confirmed everything. You told me from the start, this could happen. It's highly unlikely, and just to hear that, apart from, all the research you look on Google, like, let's be honest, Google can tell you a lot of things that may necessarily not be true.
Hmm.
So it's, to hear it from you firsthand, that really helped me make my decision and want to make it work, move forward, and it could potentially be life changing. And
Hmm.
it really was.
Yeah. I mean, like we all need to do our research, and I always encourage patients to do their research. But the research should be, as my teachers and mentors taught me, that research should be very intentional, which means it should be focused, because a lot of the stuff on the internet can actually pull you down. In fact, most of the times it pulls you down. It tells
Correct.
you, oh my God, how bad this is, and this could, so good things can never happen to me.
That's it.
Only bad things can happen to me. That's a very common thing that I hear from my patients.
Yep.
So, oh, that's good. So, I mean, so you underwent surgery. If you're okay with me sharing this, Serena, that
Yep.
your heaviest BMI, at least with me, was 41.5 with a weight of
Yep.
112 kilos. And can I ask you that how was your recovery after surgery? What did you expect and what did you experience? Like they can be two
I
different things,
Yep. So I honestly expected it to be a lot worse than what
right?
it was.
Like in
I
terms of
honestly,
pain or nausea or what?
yeah, I think more for me, I was more nervous about how much pain I would be in after, and what it would be like adjusting to, not gulping things down, not drinking my water like I used to, just
Yeah.
little tiny things, I guess.
Mm.
And then, to my surprise, after my surgery, I felt pretty damn good. I didn't have anything that was sort of, the only thing that I can say was probably the most uncomfortable thing for me personally.
Yes.
I couldn't stand the nausea. That really
I
got
know.
to me. But other than that, I feel like everything was okay. I feel like I worked myself up a little bit more than was necessary. So I
Right.
think for me, when I was sort of lying there in the bed recovering, like,
Mm.
I think I got up about 6 hours after my surgery, and I was just strolling around my room at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, like a little old nanny, just walking back and forth, pacing, like. And I thought, this is helping with my nausea, just little things that you sort of,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you go, this isn't too bad. I could live with this.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
I think
good.
for me it was positive, and then sort of, yeah, I didn't feel terrible.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. That's good. So tell us where are you today? We are quite keen to know what is your weight today?
So I actually weighed myself this morning, funny
Oh,
enough.
did
So I
you?
actually am sitting at 65.7 kilos.
Wow, my
Yeah.
God, that is awesome. We often say that if your ideal weight is your height in centimeters minus
Yep.
100. So your height is 164.3, I know that.
Yep.
And you are subtract 100 out of it, it is like 65 thereabouts.
Yep.
So you are at your perfect weight, right? So tell
Yes.
me, what are your tips for somebody who may be listening to this interview?
Yep.
How do you overcome emotional eating? Don't you have those cravings now of
Yeah.
emotional getting angry and going for the chocolate or missing the chocolate now? And how do you overcome
Absolutely.
that?
Okay, so for me, and you're 100% right, it never goes away. You always have, oh, I've had a bad day, I want to go home and have a glass of wine or
Hmm.
10 or cocktails or food, and I think for me now, when I have a bad day now, I don't turn to food. This might sound cheesy. I actually write in a diary. I actually have a little diary next to my bed, and before I go to bed, I put in there what my day was like. I put in there how I'm feeling, and if I've eaten anything cheeky or naughty, I'll put it in there as well, and then I'll reflect on that. So I
Right.
manage what I'm doing. I don't have a diet as such. I don't like to call it that. I don't limit myself from anything. If I go out to dinner and I want to have a mouthful of cheesecake, guess what? That mouthful happens.
Very
And
good.
I actually, to be completely open and honest with you, I enjoy my food 50 million times better now than I did
Wow.
before. You know why? Because I cannot eat as much. I enjoy little bits of this and little bits of that, and I
Mm.
don't feel like I miss out. I'm actually very satisfied. So for
Yeah.
me, it's fantastic.
That's so good, because a lot of us actually put artificial boundaries that, oh, you can't eat this, or you can't eat that. If you eat this, you have to feel guilty after that. And
Yep.
and those are artificial boundaries, because as we were just talking before we started recording this interview, that we are human beings, and human beings are emotional beings. We
Yep.
love that connection, the social bond. But I think at the same token, we don't want to use food to satisfy all our emotional needs.
Yep.
That is not a good strategy. So I commend
Exactly.
you actually, Serena, for recognizing that we are still going to go through emotions. It's not that
Yep.
those low emotions will go away, but we are just using a different response to actually get a better outcome.
Exactly.
So I often say the event remains the same. It's your response or your reaction. If you're reacting, you go for food. If you're responding, well, you go for a different outcome, like journaling. And I'm a huge fan of journaling. In fact, this is the
Ah, you
journal. I talk about it. And
Yep.
it's not just this. I use my own journal and a diary. I write down myself. There's one next to my bed. I write down if there's been
Yeah.
a rough day, good day, whatever day it is,
Yep.
write it down. And something beautiful happens when you pour it all out on a page.
It
You just
does.
take it out from here and you put it on a page.
It does, and it's like it's gone, and you're like, oh,
Yes,
I feel better now. So,
I know. And
mm,
when I started doing this is just sharing my own journey. When I started doing it first, I actually used to sleep like a baby. That was the
yep,
first thing I realized, that I was just sleeping a lot better. There were
yep,
worries, things were happening in the background. There were
that's
problems,
it.
there were issues, there were challenges, and all of that. But I said, you know what? I've put it on paper. Now I'm going to sleep.
That's it. And it does because it clears the mind as well.
Yes.
Subconsciously, you've gotten rid of that, oh my God, I feel so guilty, or oh my God, this happened today. And once you get it
Yeah.
out there, it's like, oh, it's like a little sense of achievement, like, yeah, go girl. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome, awesome. That's really good. So, I mean, clearly, Serena, where you are, and it seems to me, just by the energy that you have, I can sense it, even though we are on this virtual platform, I can sense that you seem to be just living life. You
I
seem to be just
am.
enjoying it now, right?
It's honestly, like I said, anyone ask me, and I'll flat out tell them it is the best decision that I have ever made
Mm.
this far. It's definitely been life changing, and I'm very thankful for it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So just on the question of fear of failure, how do you overcome that? Do you get a fear feeling now? And how do you overcome it?
I always do. I'd be lying if I said I never think about what if. We
Yeah.
all think about what if.
Yeah.
So my what if is, what if one day it all undoes? And a big concern for me at the moment is, oh my God, what if I have a baby? And then what happens if I go back to that? And my
Mm.
way of reasoning and leveling myself out again is going, Serena, it's up to you. It is your
Mm.
choice what happens here. So I I prepare myself now. Like, I know that if I eat bad 7 days a week, I know what's going to happen. I know
Correct.
that slowly I'm going to return back to that lifestyle that I don't like.
Yeah.
So now I think moving forward, my mentality is, don't punish yourself, Serena. Keep doing what you're doing. There's going to be days where you slip up and have, a chocolate bar, or
Mm.
a bit of cream on your iced latte that you love to have. Um, but don't punish yourself. Just keep moving
Yeah.
forward, correct it the next day, move on, and don't get into bad habits. I make a point of, I don't go to gym like a psycho anymore. I go 2 days a week. I have a personal trainer. I do strength training, and I still feel fantastic. My mood, I don't think I've ever had a bad day since 12 months ago.
Wow.
So
That's a big thing, actually. A lot of us live in bad days. A lot
that's
of people
it.
live in bad days.
That's
So
it.
that's a big thing, actually. So I commend you, Serena. And I think, look, fear is always going to be there. It's how you process it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and I think there is a ton of wisdom in whatever you've just said. So any final parting messages that you might want to share with someone who may have been struggling for a long time with emotional eating,
Yep.
fear, feeling low about themselves, what would you want to say to that person?
I honestly think, to the people that are in that situation, take the opportunity, run with it, don't be scared, allow your mind to be open for new things, new challenges, and believe me, the results, they're just so rewarding, more than anything you could ever imagine. And it's just life changing. Like, I can't explain those people that feel, or that are on the fence about, they're not sure whether or not it's the right call.
Mm.
Believe me, it is the right call. If you are there, you're halfway there to the next journey of your exciting part of life. Like, I can't tell you, I'm 31 years old and I am so looking forward to the next 20 years of my life. And I
Mm.
thank you for that.
Oh.
So
Well, you took this tool and put it to its best use.
that's
So I
it.
often say that my job as a surgeon is to give you this tool in a safe way. But how
Yeah,
you use it is up to you, really, isn't it?
that's it.
So I commend you for that, Serena. Good on you for being such an inspiration. Can
Thank
I
you.
ask if somebody wishes to connect with you online on a social media,
Yep.
would you be able to give us some details?
Yeah, so I don't have any social media. I'm pretty I steer clear of it just to keep
Right.
my but I'm more than happy if people want to reach out to email me, call me. I'm more than happy. More than
Okay,
happy.
okay.
Yep.
If you're okay, we will just put your email in the show notes. That is
Absolutely.
probably the safest place, and then we can take
Easy.
it from there.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Serena, for your
Thank
time. I
you.
really appreciate it, and I can't look forward to I'm really excited about what life holds for you.
Thank you. And I appreciate everything. And look, honestly, to everyone, good luck.